Residents at risk for flooding, dangerous mudslides, and downed trees.
Taking a live look outside tonight, this Pineapple Express is expected to cover SoCal and come in some strong bursts over the next few days.
Good evening, everybody. You are watching LA Live News Tonight. I'm Marla Tejas.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Christine Devine. Storm has the potential to break weather records for this time of year and bring rainfall not seen since 1889. Yeah. We are live with team coverage on the ground and from the Weather Center.
Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf and Gina Silver. They're speaking with residents trying to get ahead of the storm. But we begin tonight in studio with Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger, tracking what's happening now and the heavy rain ahead.
Yeah, and that says a lot, right? We're talking about the wettest Christmas Eve and Christmas Day since 1889. We expect at least 4 inches of rain around LA at that time. If we do that, it'll be the record wettest of this holidays for the holidays. Now, as we look at radar right now, we've got the atmospheric river right through here. I mentioned this earlier in the evening, but radar can only look so far out away from land. So while it looks like the rain stops here, there's actually plenty of it right here. That's our first rain burst, first of 3, and that's expected to arrive late tonight and into tomorrow morning. We'll talk more about the upcoming future bursts a little bit later, but let's just focus on what we have right now, what we expect going into tomorrow. So here's a closer look on radar. A little bit of light rain here and there. It's picking up a little more out towards Santa Barbara, but nothing too impactful right now. If you've got some, last minute errands you got to run here this evening, you're going to overall be okay. Maybe some pesky light showers. But look what happens as we go later into the night. I'll pause this at 4 o'clock in the morning. So we see the heavier rain showing up around LA and areas west over towards Ventura County, Santa Barbara County as well. As we take you a little farther into the day tomorrow, here's 6 a.m. So again, widespread rain, these orange and red colors representing high rain rates that may cause flooding. As we continue, well, that's 8 o'clock in the morning. Here we go into noon. That heaviest batch is now shifting a little farther east of LA, still hitting parts of Orange County towards the IE, the San Bernardino Mountains. And as we go a little later into the day tomorrow, that first burst is gradually on its way out. So we'll get a little bit of a lull between these bursts we expect coming through. Another one hits on Christmas, another one on Friday. By the end of this week, we expect rain totals, I'd say on average for a lot of people, between 3 and 7 inches. But more than that can be expected, maybe even double that much in some of the foothills and mountains. We'll talk more about all that and the wind we expect with this coming up a little later. But for now, back to you.
3 and 7 inches or more. That's a lot of rain. All right, so some areas are already starting to see that rain coming from this big wet storm expected to hit across Southern California.
City officials, including the mayor's office and the Office of Emergency Management, are warning residents to be prepared. How's it looking so far tonight? Let's go live to Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf and Beverly Crust with more there. Matthew.
Well, we're here off of Mulholland Drive. This is one of those areas that's considered high risk. They've had previous mudslides from big rain events, but tonight, so far, it's just cool and windy. But Mike will show you, he'll let you look out across the city. We're looking over Studio City, and it is pretty calm right now, but you can see the clouds possibly look ominous, a little eerie tonight as this storm surges closer. Go ahead and take a look at this video. Again, that storm barreling towards Southern California tonight. Right now, hundreds of people in the fire burn zone areas are under mandatory evacuation orders. Flood watches have also been issued all over the state through LA and further south. Rainfall, again, as Adam was saying, expected to be between 3 and 7 inches in the LA metro with strong wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. City officials tonight are urging people to get ready for this Christmas storm, while many people are now reconsidering their plans for the holidays.
And I ask all Angelenos to take this one seriously during this holiday week. Now is the time to come together and make a plan on how you can safely spend time with loved ones over the holidays.
Widespread significant flooding will likely occur in urban and poor drainage areas, especially in and around the higher terrain.
We got some family coming in town and they're already like, hey, should we come up? I don't know. Is it going to be flooding there?
Right now, just hoping for the best. Watching the news, looking outside. Yeah. Hopefully it won't be too bad.
A lot of people watching this storm very closely, especially when you consider all the travel plans taking place with the holidays. Really, the timing of this could not be much worse given the holidays. But right now, again, the current situation very calm, but also ominous with those clouds coming onshore. Reporting live tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Matthew, so many people have been through so many Mother Nature-induced disasters of late with the wildfires, of course, other rainstorms, mudslides. Are you getting a sense that people are really heeding this warning?
I feel like people are just worn out, and really at this point they don't really know what to expect. We've had some recent rainstorms in the last couple of months, so people in the area that we were in today feel like that, things were pretty smooth here for those last storms, so they feel pretty good about this one, but they also know what happened just a couple of years ago where we're standing. There was actually a major mudslide, so it's definitely on people's minds with this storm as it approaches too.
I mean, and just really the numbers, you even pointed that out, 3 to 7 inches. Trying to picture that, what it's going to be like for Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I mean, that is a ton of rainfall spread out over a couple of days. You hear those rainfall rates sometimes over an inch per hour. That's when you start having real problems, especially in urban areas where they can have that street flooding like we saw about a month ago down in Huntington Beach in Orange County. That was pretty significant. You also think about those burn scar zones. It's definitely worrisome during the holiday season, too.
Sure is. All right, Matthew, thank you so much.
People who live in and around the Palisades fire burn scar are bracing for the storm. They're seeing multiple street closures and hillsides covered in plastic tarps. Fox 11's Nick Garcia tonight talking to residents there.
The sounds of the season are a little different for the Palisades this Christmas. Rebuilding continues as dark storm clouds sit above Brian Bradford's property.
I'm always concerned. I mean, when they start talking atmospheric rivers, it kind of freaks me out.
A tarp put up on top of his freshly framed house in anticipation of the rain.
I think we've done what we can do, and other than that, we'll see.
Caltrans is also doing what it can. Topanga Canyon Boulevard will be closed from PCH to Grandview from Tuesday night through at least Friday due to the risk of debris flow.
You have a balcony at least?
Valerie Henderson's house is the only one on the block that survived the fire, but heavy smoke damage inside is forcing her to gut it.
Are you concerned about the rain?
Yeah, we are concerned about the rain. It's we're going to do our best to cover the house and hope that there's not massive mud.
She's looking to the vegetation that's grown back in her own yard and in the nearby hills as a sign the mud flow might not be so bad, and getting hope from others who've already moved back.
We're hunkering down, so to speak. So we'll be ready for it tonight and the next 2 or 3 days.
Like Dick Lawrence, whose house survived the Palisades fire.
I think God had a lot to do with it to help us get through this.
Dick says he's leaned on his faith over the past 12 months, and after a horrific start of the year, he's thankful to be celebrating Christmas at home. Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
Mandatory evacuations are also issued for parts of Orange County starting tomorrow morning.
Continuing our team coverage, Fox 11's Gina Silva live in Trabuco Canyon with the latest on conditions there. Gina?
Well, no rain right now. It's actually nice and really cool, chilly out here. It's the calm before the storm. This area is expected to be pounded tonight into Friday, and that is why there is a mandatory evacuation order starting tomorrow morning, Christmas Eve. It was not part of the plans, but that's the reality, and some of the people we spoke with, they're not happy about it.
I've been evacuated once before. I don't like it.
But the storm headed to Southern California is forecast as an immediate threat to homes, roads, and safety. That's why a mandatory evacuation order has been issued starting Wednesday morning, Christmas Eve, for Trabuco Creek, Bell Canyon, and Hot Springs Canyon in Orange County.
That's rough. Oh my gosh, everyone with their stuff in their house too, right? Their gifts and wanting to be at home with their family, and they're not going to be able to do that. It's terrible.
That sucks. I mean, a cold Christmas is nice, but not a wet one.
Yeah.
And I hear it's going to be like a lot of rain.
So much rain, the system is being called a major atmospheric river, also referred to as a Pineapple Express. The biggest concern isn't just total rainfall, which in some areas could approach 10 inches, but the potential for continuous, intense downpours that can trigger flash flooding and dangerous debris flows.
Having to leave on Christmas Eve is like kind of crazy.
Despite warnings and mandatory evacuation orders, some residents say they're not concerned and they won't be leaving home.
No, well, definitely not. I have family visiting as well, so I don't think it's even like an option for us. Like, they would have nowhere to go.
Don't sweat the small stuff, and everything is small stuff.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year.
And the best advice from authorities, if you're under a mandatory evacuation, it's best to secure your home and leave early, and definitely avoid flooded roads. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Gina, when we spoke earlier, you mentioned that some people were really surprised about these orders. They hadn't received notification yet. What does that say about the notification process?
Yeah, there were a couple of people that I spoke with and they had no idea. And so I went ahead and showed them the information that we had, and they were like, oh, I didn't know about this, and certainly not something I'm interested in. So they do plan to stay. There was one person who talked about leaving, but the others said, you know, we're planning to stay here.
Here in West LA, Gina, we've already gotten some rain. I've seen you out there for hours now. Has there been no rain there yet?
No rain, no rain. It's cold and it's getting a little bit windy, but other than that, it's been a really peaceful night and dry.
All right, well, that's going to change.
Yeah.
All right, Gina, thank you. Take a close look at your screen. Evacuation warnings are now in effect for the following burn scar areas in LA County: Kenneth, Palisades, Mandeville Canyon, Eaton, Sunset, and the Topanga Canyon closure. You can find a full list on both warnings and orders at LA.com. And now, taking a live look at LAX. Oh, a lot of cars there. Holiday travel is underway. Rain or shine, people have their flights already or got to make their flight. And it's a lot of traffic at this hour.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of gridlock there on the upper deck as people are trying to make their way to arrivals. That is the top deck. Or no, that's the departure. Pardon me. Departure is top. Arrival is bottom. I'll be heading there tomorrow morning. So wish us luck. We'll be in gridlock. If you need a Zoom,
I hope you make your flight and everything, and the rain doesn't delay anything that way.
We'll see what happens. So yes, the rush is on at the airport and the shopping malls. Here's what it looked like today at the Citadel in Commerce. Christmas shoppers trying to get their shopping done before the worst of the rain moves in.
Because I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 presents to buy. So I don't care if it rains or not.
I'm a run. You're calling me out because I'm doing last minute shopping, so I am. But, you know, I got an umbrella in the car. That's all I'm going to do. What else can I do? We got to do what we got to do. I'm not going to stay home and not give my people gifts. They got to get their gifts, you know?
Out here already, so might as well just endure it just a little bit to get that last minute shopping done.
Rain or shine, last minute shopping is underway.
We have more storm coverage ahead, but if you want to track the storm, you can go online. You'll find interactive radars, a full 7-day forecast, and much more, all that at foxla.com.
Still had 8 more Epstein files dropped by the Justice Department, but they came with a warning about claims made against President Trump. We dive into those new documents.
Plus, flu cases are surging this holiday season. We break down the strain circulating and the symptoms to watch out for next.
An arrest in the suspected DUI crash that killed 18-year-old Braun Levy of Pacific Palisades. Police just arrested Jenia Belt today, more than 7 months after she allegedly struck and killed Levy in Manhattan Beach. Levy's mom, Jen, joined me yesterday on the 6 o'clock news to raise awareness about her push for justice and stronger DUI laws. According to Manhattan Beach police, Belt was charged with 1 felony count of second-degree murder, 1 felony count of gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated, and 1 count of driving with a suspended license. She's being held on $2 million bail. The DOJ drops another trove of documents tied to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Many of those documents mention President Trump, but the Justice Department immediately warned some of the files contain claims that are outright untrue. Fox's Madeline Rivera walks us through this latest release.
The Jeffrey Epstein saga continues to unfold. Early Tuesday, the Justice Department posted a second batch of some 11,000 documents, days after a deadline to release all government material related to the convicted sex offender's case.
We're going through a very methodical process with hundreds of lawyers looking at every single document.
Among the heavily redacted files is a January 2020 email from an assistant U.S. attorney stating President Trump flew on Epstein's plane at least 8 times between 1993 and 96, more than originally reported. At least once with Epstein alone and another time with just Epstein and an unnamed 20-year-old woman.
I can't imagine why Donald Trump would have been okay to be on an airplane with teenagers and very young adult women, other than nefarious circumstances.
But with the files came a note of caution. The DOJ posting some of these documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump. The first batch of documents released Friday contained dozens of photos of Epstein with high-powered men, including Presidents Trump and Clinton. And although Trump signed off on releasing the files, he thinks they're doing more harm than good.
This is what the Democrats, mostly Democrats, and a couple of bad Republicans are asking for. I don't like the pictures of other people being shown. I think it's a terrible thing.
The files also contain many unverified tips sent into law enforcement and a debunked video purporting to show Epstein's 2019 suicide inside his Manhattan jail cell. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
A heartbreaking update in the case of missing 9-year-old Melody Buzzard. Santa Barbara authorities tonight confirming her body was found in rural Utah on December 6th. Investigators say she died of multiple gunshot wounds to the head. Authorities have arrested her mother, Ashley Buzzard, charging her with first-degree murder. Investigators say cartridge cases at the scene of the crime matched those from the home.
All of us who have been involved in this case have been deeply affected by it. We were hoping against hope that she would be safely found.
Surveillance footage shows the mother and daughter on a road trip in October. Officials believe Melody died soon after these images were taken.
All right, coming up, a powerful storm system is getting ready to soak SoCal.
If you're hoping for a rainy, wintry Christmas, you're getting it when the heaviest of the wet weather moves in next.
Weather is sponsored by My Home Sold.
All right, live look outside. Mount Wilson. This is our Mount Wilson shot?
I don't know.
That's what I was just told. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm used to seeing the twinkly lights and all of that. And instead, it looks like we're up at Big Bear. And it looks like the start of a scary movie.
It reminds me of like The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah,
like
totally.
There's like a Halloween and a Christmas theme going on right here. It's like a Christmas tree in the Halloween fog or something. Okay, let's talk about the rain, though. That's coming our way. So we've got three main rounds. And keep in mind, I'm going to highlight these, but rain will happen for some folks in between all these as well. And it's the first two that are going to be the most intense. And really, the first one will be the most intense out of everything coming our way. And that's what's going to arrive tomorrow morning. Then as we continue into Thursday, Christmas Day, I think the afternoon and evening we'll see burst number 2 or round number 2. And then Friday, I'm seeing a little more variability on the model. So that one's a little more tricky to nail down right now. But it looks like just in general, lighter showers expected throughout the day on Friday, perhaps both in the morning and in the afternoon. Let's talk about potential rain totals now. We'll zoom in a little bit closer to our area. Watch the legend on the left side of your screen, the reds, the oranges, the yellows. That's not good. That's heavy stuff. We've been talking about that general potential for like 3 to 7 inches for a lot of the greater LA area. Here's a closer look and an estimation of what the National Weather Service expects. And you can see how some of the most intense or highest rain totals will be in some of the mountains. For example, the mountains there in Ventura County and then the San Gabriel Mountains, part of the San Bernardino Mountains perhaps as well. That's where 10 plus inches will be possible throughout this entire storm. And the National Weather Service says up to 6 to 14 inches is possible in some of the mountains and foothills, and those lower elevations, greater LA, well, it's going to be less than that. But either way, it's going to be heavy stuff for just about everyone, and there's a high risk for flooding here. Now, right now, we see some light showers here and there. Things are relatively quiet compared to what's coming our way. No surprise that we have a flood watch in effect for the entire area. That's through Thursday evening. We also have the highest category of flood risk for us. There's 4 of them, and high is level 4 out of 4. This is pretty rare to see this, and it covers a lot of ground here in Southern California. Then the Storm Prediction Center also has us in a low-end severe weather risk in this green area. Severe weather meaning the potential for small hail, some damaging winds, a brief tornado is possible. That was Wednesday. Here's Thursday. The outlook area is pretty much in the same location. And then we have the wind advisories and the more severe high wind warnings. We expect strong winds from the south, meaning they're blowing from south to north. You can see sustained winds 15 to 35, but gusts will be higher in these tan areas. The peak of the winds might be on Wednesday. And then in the high wind warning, it's going to be more extreme, especially in the high elevations. Gusts may get as high as 50 to 80. So in combination with the rain and those winds, I think it's a pretty safe bet to say there's going to be some trees or at least limbs coming down somewhere that could lead to power outages and additional problems. Let's walk you through this on Futurecast now, going into 1 o'clock in the morning tonight. So you can see that burst is starting to hit our western areas, then it's moving eastward. Here we go to 6 a.m. tomorrow, 8 a.m. That's when the heart of our area, right in the center of Southern California here in LA, is getting some of that heaviest rain, which starts shifting east midday, but still it's pretty wet for most of us. By mid-afternoon, 3 o'clock, a lot of it's east of LA, and then we go into 6 o'clock and we are done with round number 1. Here we go to number 2, though. This is now Christmas morning. Yes, some scattered rain, but it's not too widespread until we get into Christmas afternoon and evening. That's that second burst coming through that also could produce some heavy downpours. So it's widespread rain tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, but again, Fridays will be lighter. Maybe 1 or 2 showers somewhere on Saturday, but drier weather is finally coming in this weekend. And those temperatures will be pretty cool, especially Friday night. We get down to the 40s. Back to you.
Oh, this is so sweet. Still have. Are you looking for a furry friend to add to the family, but maybe still a bit on the fence?
How about starting with a holiday sleepover? That sounds like a good start. How the foster program works. Plus, Chelsea Edwards, she's on Stormwatch.
Yep, we are live in Malibu, a large portion of which is under evacuation warnings. Tonight, there are concerns about possible mud flows, mudslides, debris flows, flooding, and 3 separate canyons are shut down. I'll have what you need to know coming up.
Across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Here's a live look at the radar. A Pineapple Express heading into Southern California and expected to bring a whole lot of widespread rain through the week as we brace for this big wet storm just beginning to hit parts of Southern California. There are specific areas of concern.
That includes the areas most at risk for flooding and dangerous mudslides, the burn scar areas. We go live to Fox 11's Chelsea Edwards in Malibu. More on the latest conditions. Chelsea.
And Christine, Marla, you've got not one but 2 recent burn scars here. You've got burn scars from both the Palisades fire, but also the Franklin fire here in Malibu. And those scars cover a huge amount of area. So it's affecting a lot of people, which are under evacuation warnings right now. Now, we're standing off of PCH in Topanga Canyon. Topanga only going to be open for a few more minutes. It closes officially at 9 o'clock tonight, closed until at least Friday. We've got some other closures here to talk about. No rain that we've seen just yet, but we can feel the wind coming. Everyone just doing what they can to be prepared. Storm preps well underway here in Malibu, a huge swath of which is under evacuation warnings ahead of the brunt of the storm. At Duke's on PCH, crews tonight installed some huge heavy K-rails to protect the property from possible flooding. Now, sandbags are still available in a few spots all across the city. We went to one at the Malibu Public Library where pre-filled sandbags are currently available for pickup. We went to another site at LA County Fire Department Station 70. That one's on PCH, and there are piles of sand ready to be poured into bags. And ahead of the downpours, officials are closing 3 prominent roads in and out of the city. You've got Malibu Canyon and Tuna Canyon. Both of those closed just about 30 minutes ago, right around 8 o'clock p.m. And then Topanga Canyon will close at 9 p.m. Their reopening just depends on the conditions and exactly what this storm does. Folks living in Malibu, of course, have been through a lot, and people we've spoken to say they're as prepared as they can be for whatever Mother Nature throws at them.
We have been through many storms up here. I live on a hill, and I just finished the deck literally 2 hours ago, and it's just tarped and trenches, and the whole key is to get water away from the house. The old timers, they go through everything. The last floods we had, the river overflowed. When they're out there, they're in the fires. There was groups of people they didn't leave. I got out.
Just imagine what these folks living up here have been through over the last, not just the last year, but the last few decades. I mean, so much happens up here in the hills in Malibu. So again, you've got those 2 canyons that were closed as of 8 o'clock. That's Malibu Canyon and Tuna Canyon. Both of those shut down until conditions improve. Then Topanga Canyon shutting down officially at 9 o'clock. And, that's going to affect a lot of people. This is obviously a very busy roadway. We've seen a lot of people just saying they're doing their last little rounds, trying to get through over to the valley, and people coming in and saying they're doing the same thing. So 9 o'clock, and this one is not expected to reopen until at least Friday, and that, of course, is condition depending as well. So we'll see how long that lasts and how much potential debris flow there is. There's a lot of unknowns at this point as this storm approaches, but we will, of course, keep you posted. Reporting live here in Malibu, I'm Chelsea Edwards. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Chelsea, you've been out there through the fires, through recent storms. How are you, what do you think? Let me start over. Sorry. What do you think in terms of the reaction from the residents there? Sorry, I've even gone through this so many times. It's hard to
you just don't know. I think they're very much in the same, they're very much on the same page. We talked to a lot of people tonight, most of which did not want to go on camera, the vast majority of which did not want to go on camera. And they just said because they've done this so many times, but, through the fires, through evacuation warnings in the fires, through the mudslides, the debris flow, through the storms. I mean, it just never ends up here. There's so much activity that happens. And I think they're a little wary, too. I mean, they're just kind of like, it's happening yet again. We are under evacuation warning yet again. This one's a little bit different because, of course, we're in the midst of the holiday season. We've got Hanukkah and Christmas, and all of this is happening right around then. So that adds a little bit of stress and pressure, I think, to everybody. But they're seasoned. The people who've lived up here for a long time are as prepared as they are for anything else because they've been through this so many times.
I was working on one of our Palisades anniversary stories coming up. Obviously, we're coming up almost on a year of the fires. And I had a resident pointing out the hillside and how green it is now because of all the regrowth. I don't know if you saw any of that making your way to Malibu there.
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, you can certainly see it in a lot of these hillsides. And what we've seen for the last year is just that charred hillside, really nothing holding it up. But from what I noticed, at least, Christine, it's, there's not a lot. It's very new, that's very fresh vegetation. It's not what's going to really hold up rocks if they're coming down. If there's a lot of loose hillside there, it doesn't look like it's what's going to protect homes from, from being damaged and from mud coming down the street. So, yeah, there is that promise of that green vegetation, but it takes a long time for that to really grow up enough to protect communities. And there's a lot of burn scar area here in Malibu.
Yeah, and a lot of fatigue, and clearly my brain is fatigued. So I apologize off the top that I couldn't get out the words. My goodness, gotta love live television. All right, Chelsea, we appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Hundreds of homes seem to be in danger by storm emergency leaders here in L.A. Evacuation orders have been issued for those homes across the city and county. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez joined L.A. County Sheriff's deputies as they literally went door to door to warn people.
There's no answer to the callbacks of the property. So you guys are under mandatory evacuation. Sheriff's Department.
LA County Sheriff deputies reaching out to residents at over 100 unincorporated area properties identified by Public Works as particularly vulnerable to mud flows during the storm.
There's no cars in the driveway, so appears like they already evacuated.
They left, but others have not.
Well, we know we have issues.
Right.
We haven't had any particular issues with any of this here.
It's hard to tell people, hey, you got to go, right? And it's also hard to tell people, hey, if you don't go, you're putting yourself in a really tough spot.
We were warned already about this.
Oh, you. Yeah, what is your name? If they don't want to go, that's completely their choice. How many people are actually going to be here? Do you know?
There's going to be 3 or 4.
For us, we have a refusal to leave that order that they sign. It kind of just tells us who's in the house. Can I just get your name real quick?
Sure.
And they pretty much take responsibility for staying.
In Altadena, I'm Christina Gonzalez, Fox 11 News.
If you want to track the storm, you can head to foxla.com. You'll find interactive radars, a full 7-day forecast, and much more. You can also download our mobile app.
It is the most wonderful time of the year, they say, but a spike in flu cases across the country could put a damper on holiday plans. Fox's Jonathan Seri explains what doctors are seeing.
The flu is surging nationwide with nearly 5 million cases already reported ahead of the holidays.
We're seeing it a bit earlier this year than last year, and we're seeing more of it.
As cases increase, doctors say this year's flu season could be tougher than usual, thanks in part to a new variant of the virus, H3N2 subclade K. This strain developed too late in the year to be included in this year's vaccine formulation. Subclade K tends to be more infectious and can cause more severe symptoms like fever, cough, body aches, and fatigue. And while the vaccine may not include this variant, doctors say it can still help with symptoms if you get sick.
We don't have a perfect vaccine in this case. But what it really does is if you are infected with the flu virus, it takes it from what we call wild to mild.
In some parts of the country, cases are so high among children that schools have decided to start winter break a little early in hopes of lessening the spread at holiday gatherings.
We didn't want staff and students going to their family Christmases sick and taking this stuff to their grandma and grandpas. And, you know, that's important. So we wanted to really get everybody well by Christmas.
Doctors are also stressing the importance of early testing and treatment. Antiviral medications work best when started within the first few days of symptoms. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
A special ceremony tonight in Elysian Park celebrating LA Unified School District's All-District Honor Marching Band. 330 students from 50 high schools rehearsed drills and songs in preparation for their 5.5-mile Rose Parade journey January 1st in Pasadena.
Coming together under the leadership and the wise teaching of 25 remarkable teachers and band directors professionals, all inspired by the one and only Tony White. This is what Los Angeles Unified is all about, making good noise.
This will be the 53rd year LAUSD's All-District Honor Marching Band participates in the Rose Parade, and they are looking good. Looks like they're ready to roll.
How fun for them.
Yeah. All right, for more than 130 years, the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign has been a holiday tradition.
Modern times are creating a bit of a problem. Fox 11's Bob DeCastro explains.
What do they say with every bell that rings?
An angel gets their wings, right?
I think so.
I love it. I love it, yeah.
Outside a Hobby Lobby in Torrance,
La 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 la.
The sidewalk turns into a celebration.
Thank Salvation Army bell ringer Major Lisa Barnes shows us how the nonprofit's Red Kettle campaign lifts spirits.
I get to help support shelters. I get to help support 12 different programs and shelters that give more than 3,000 beds every single night in LA County, just in the center of the target of LA. And wherever the Salvation Army is, we say, okay, what does this community need? What are the gaps? Does it need childcare? Does it need food support? Does it need help paying bills? We hear a lot of folks saying, the Salvation Army rehab helped my dad, helped my uncle, helped my auntie.
Major Barnes says she was once one of those very people who needed help. Raised by a single mother who was a sex worker and struggled with addiction, Barnes estimates she lived in 30 to 40 foster homes in the Pacific Northwest before the age of 15.
I remember often being homeless, often going to bed hungry. Feeling unsafe, feeling alone, feeling afraid, pretty much all the time. No kid should ever grow up that way, but when you do, it develops this kind of resilience in you.
Barnes says she was also physically abused, had suicidal thoughts, and came frighteningly close to ending her life, but found safety when she was introduced to the Salvation Army. First meeting outreach volunteers through its food box delivery program, she eventually found fellowship at its youth summer camps.
It's almost like the clouds parted and I said, wait a second, maybe life could be different. Maybe this doesn't have to be my forever. And I flushed the pills down the toilet and I ripped up the notes and I never turned back.
For Major Barnes, service has replaced survival.
Nobody is too far gone. Nobody is a lost cause. Come on over.
Standing beside her red kettle, Barnes believes everyone carries unseen struggles.
It's important that as we navigate this life, that we treat everyone with respect and kindness and dignity, no matter what, because everybody is just dealing with this human experience the best we can.
She says hers and the Salvation Army's mission is always about compassion and spreading comfort and joy. Santa, Merry Christmas on the way to town.
Gotcha. I'm so strong.
You are strong, girl.
Oh, Bob is perfect to highlight that story.
Yeah, and she's great, too. We did have a story last night talking about how the money and donations are down. A reminder, if you see them, please donate because they are really short according to our numbers last night.
Any little bit helps.
Yeah.
Literally. All right, coming up, we are checking in with Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger.
Yeah, we have a lot of rain coming through in waves over the next couple of days. The first wave likely to be the most intense, and it's hitting early tomorrow morning. We'll talk about that, potential rain totals, what the winds look like, and even where we expect some significant snow and how long this rain is going to last. There's a lot going on. Those details coming up.
Best Friends Animal Society is inviting people to take part in holiday foster sleepovers.
The idea is for people to open their homes to animals in need of homes for just a few days. Fox 11's Coco McAvoy breaks down how it works.
Hey there, it's the holiday season, so it's really the perfect time to not only open your heart, but of course open your home to foster an animal. And we are here at Best Friends Animal Society in West LA. I am here with Elizabeth, also here with Lacuna, who's an amazing and sweet dog. Elizabeth, if you can tell us all about this holiday fostering program.
Yeah, so this is an event that we tried out for Thanksgiving to give our animals a chance to be in a home for the holiday. Lacuna is very excited about her big moment on camera. And it was a great success. We found that a lot of people wanted to have that pet in the home just for a few days and have the experience of having a family companion. Great for the animals. They get time out of the kennel. They give us some really important information about how they are in a home, and then it gives our staff a little bit of a break too. And sometimes people want to extend the foster, and sometimes they extend it permanently. They fall in love, and then it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and you mentioned how it was so successful, of course, for Thanksgiving. You were talking about like dozens upon dozens of animals who were fostered, right?
Exactly, yes. We sent out about 60 dogs and cats for the Thanksgiving break, and we don't have quite as many to send out this time because we want to make sure we have animals available for adoption, because the holidays are a big time for adoption. So we're probably going to send out about 30 dogs and cats over the next 8 hours, and we're really excited about it.
And why do you think this is such an important time of year to have something like this? Hi, Lacuna.
Again, it's just, you know, we want every pet to be in a loving home, and even if it's short term and it's just for the holidays, it makes a big difference. It gives them a little bit of a break, a reset. As I said, we get a lot of information about how they are in the car, how they are in a home with children or with dogs and cats, and so it's just, it's really good to help us get more information so that when we do match make these pets to potential adoptive families, we know as much about them as possible.
Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth. And thank you, Lacuna, as well. Lacuna is up for adoption if you're interested. She's really a sweetheart. She's just seeing cats right now. That's why she's doing that. But she really is such a sweet dog. So definitely come out here to Best Friends Animal Society in West LA to be part of this program. I'll send it back to you.
A lot of ways to help out. Not everybody can take an animal full time, but you can foster a few nights here and there. Love that idea.
Yeah, and who knows? You may end up keeping it forever.
I know, that's my fear. I'll take them all.
That's kind of the
all
hope,
of them.
Yeah.
That could be a slippery slope. You might end up with a lot of pets, but that's okay. That's what they want.
All right, a lot of pets, what we can say is raining cats and dogs. Sorry, I had to.
You had to, right? Coming off that story.
Yeah.
And I also feel like it's kind of strategic that we show just cute pets and kind of set the mood before we get into what I have to talk about here.
Seriously.
Nothing cute.
Yeah, no, it's not that it's doom and gloom, but boy, it's going to be some wild weather here over the next couple of days. So we've got our first rain burst that's sitting offshore right now. We've got the atmospheric river with this disturbance in the mix as well. And something I've said a couple of times here tonight is that when we look at radar, keep in mind radar measures where there's rain. Satellite, which is up in space, measures where there's clouds. So radars are down here at the ground, and those radar beams can only go so far out over the ocean. So there's a lot more rain here than what it actually looks like. We are starting to see the first bits of that burst get into radar view, if you will. So that's going to keep you're going to see more and more on the radar as we go through the next few hours, and everything out west is going to start shifting eastward over the course of the late night hours and tomorrow morning when the first of a couple waves of rain comes through. But the first one likely to be the most intense. Tomorrow morning should be quite treacherous out there. We also have winds, which is a big part of the story here as well. Wind advisory and a more severe high wind warning. In some places, this is in effect through tomorrow, and some other spots in effect through Thursday. Let me show you what the forecast wind gusts look like. And, you know, we show this often when we talk about like Santa Ana winds, and the winds are going like this. That's a complete opposite wind direction coming in from the ocean. And you know that the purple colors indicates where there's the strongest gusts, likely over 35 where there's purple. So we have a lot of that across our area in the morning. It's not going to be constantly windy for everyone throughout this whole event. Notice the numbers kind of go down a little bit, then they're back up here on Christmas Day. So just a couple of pretty pretty gusty days ahead. That's why we have all those wind alerts. Here's the wide view of what Futurecast looks like here as we track these waves of rain. So we'll take you into 6 a.m. And again, you can see this big batch coming through. The orange, the red colors indicating the highest rain rates that are most likely to cause some flooding. So this wave just kind of gradually shifts eastward slowly over the course of the day tomorrow. Then we get into our second round. So you'll notice there's some breaks between these. Our second round is going to be more so late in the day Christmas, so like Christmas afternoon, Christmas night. And then the third wave I've been talking about is starting to look a little more kind of frayed a bit. So that's going to be Friday. I think it's more so just scattered lighter showers on Friday. So this will be the less intense of the waves coming through, but still it's going to be, kind of a nuisance if you got to be out there on Friday. There's going to be more rain. I want to compare for you a couple models to show you what we look at because they're really coming into agreement pretty well now. Through the end of the day Friday, here's what one model says. Doesn't mean the rain numbers end up exactly like this, but it gives you a good idea that many areas get more than 3 inches, some up towards 4 to 5. And notice those yellow colors in the mountains and the foothills. That's where there's 6+ potentially. Switching to another model, it's generally the same idea. And I'll show you a third one here. And again, while the numbers vary a little bit, we're looking at those highest rain totals for sure north of LA in the San Gabriel Mountains, part of the San Bernardino Mountains, part of the mountains in Ventura County as well, lower amounts farther south and east. Now, as far as the snow goes through the end of Friday, notice I've got the snow level on the top right part of your screen showing how low it gets, getting lower as we go through Friday. Some blue and purple on the map there, which indicates, in purple anyways, there may be some mountaintops that get more than a foot of snow, especially towards the end of this on Friday. Back to you.
All right, Adam, thank you so much.
We will be ready. All right, we still have more news ahead here at 8.
But first, here is a preview of what's coming up at 9. We're staying on top of the storm, of course. We're live from the coast and the inland valleys and how people are preparing. Plus, a popular weight loss medication is getting a makeover. It's hitting the market as a pill instead of an injection. Why it's a game changer for doctors and patients. That's ahead at 9. look at these cuties. Long Beach newborns are getting a festive welcome into the world this holiday season. This is from Miller Children's and Women's Hospital. Babies born between today and the 26th are being bundled in giant red Christmas stockings.
Oh. It's a 63-year tradition bringing joy to families and staff alike. Nurses, some dressed in holiday gear, help create lasting memories for the parents celebrating their little Christmas miracles.
Oh my goodness, congratulations to all the parents and all the babies. Welcome.
Oh, such love. Yes, what a Christmas blessing there, holiday blessing there. Look how sweet they look. Oh my gosh. And they do this around Thanksgiving too.
Oh yeah, and they always
Halloween.
They don't even need the costumes. They're so adorable on their own.
Yeah.
Not costumes, but you know, the stockings.
Sweet little outfits.
Yeah. Okay, we're just about done.
Don't go anywhere. Not done quite yet.
Right. LA Live News Tonight continues at 9 o'clock. I'll see you on the other side of the break. Join me.
Live across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Now at 9, get ready for some Christmas chaos. A significant storm system moving into Southern California. Heavy rain and strong winds putting residents at risk for flooding, dangerous mudslides, and downed trees. Taking a live look at our weather radar right now. You see the system there in green. This Pineapple Express, as it's known, is expected to cover SoCal and come in strong bursts over the next few days. It's a 1-2-3 punch. Good evening, everybody. You're watching LA Live News tonight at 9 o'clock. I'm Marla Tejas. The storm has the potential to break records for this time of year and bring rainfall not seen since 1889. Yeah, a very long time. We're live with team coverage on the ground and from the Weather Center. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf. He's checking out what's being done to prepare. But we begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger tracking what's happening now and the heavy rain ahead.
Yeah, and I want to mention that stat right there because the wettest Christmas Eve and Christmas Day together, yes, that was 1889 with about 3.8 inches of rain. I think we might top it this time around. So we have 3 main rounds of rain we're tracking, and by the end of this week, we expect most areas to land somewhere between 3 to 7 inches, but more than that. In fact, perhaps double that in some of the mountains and foothills, meaning 6 to as much as 14 inches is within the realm of possibility for some of the mountains and foothills. Pretty wild numbers we're throwing at you. So the first batch, the first wave of rain, that's expected to be the heaviest. That's coming in early tomorrow morning with some rain still kind of lingering through the day tomorrow. Round number 2 is going to be Christmas Day. It's going to be in the afternoon and at night. That one also potential to be heavy. And then Friday is going to be more so just some lighter showers. That'll be round number 3, less intense. So we see right now on radar, not a whole lot around the greater LA area. Farther west, we're starting to see the rain increase a little bit more. Still, this is light to moderate rain. It is going to pick up in intensity as we go through the night. We're going to talk about a lot more of the details in this whole thing coming up a little later, but this is just giving you a quick little sense as to what you can expect for tomorrow. We'll time it out for you. Notice on Futurecast as we go from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m., you can see an enhancement of the rain. So the rain rate's beginning to pick up. And at first hitting our western areas out towards Santa Barbara County, Ventura County, starting to move into LA County after midnight tonight, really picking up as we go into early tomorrow morning. This is 6 a.m. And again, the orange, the red indicating those high rain rates. At times could be up to 1 inch per hour, which easily could cause some flooding. Here we go into 8 o'clock in the morning. Heavy stuff coming through, transitioning eastward over the course of the day. And by late day tomorrow, wave 1 is past. We get a little lull before the next few waves come our way. Again, we'll talk more about that, the rain totals, the wind, the snow, lots to get to. We'll get to that in a little bit. Marla?
All right, Adam, thank you so much. The storm is slowly moving in, but the worst of it still on the way, as we just heard. City officials are warning residents to be prepared. How is it looking so far right now? Tonight, let's go live to Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf. He's in Beverly Crest with more there. And right where you're standing, Matthew, there was a weather disaster not long ago, right?
Yeah, Mara, we're right off of Mulholland Drive. This is where mudslides took place almost 2 years ago. It's a very high-risk area for those sort of things. And tonight, no issues. It's a little cooler than about an hour ago. We're seeing the wind starting to pick up. And Mike will show you a look out over the valley tonight. This is looking to Studio City. You can see the clouds look heavy and ominous as this storm is starting to roll in tonight. But if you go and take a look at this video of that storm moving closer to Southern California, right now hundreds of people in fire burn zones are under mandatory evacuation orders. Flood watches have also been issued all over the state through LA and further south. Rainfall, again, as Adam was saying, expected to be between 3 and 7 inches in the LA metro with strong wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. City officials tonight, again, are urging people to get ready for this Christmas storm, while many people are now reconsidering their plans for the holidays.
And I ask all Angelenos to take this one seriously during this holiday week. Now is the time to come together and make a plan on how you can safely spend time with loved ones over the holidays.
Widespread significant flooding will likely occur in urban and poor drainage areas, especially in and around the higher terrain.
We got some family coming in town and they're already like, hey, should we come up? You know, I don't know. Is it going to be flooding there?
Right now, just hoping for the best. Watching the news, looking outside. Yeah. Hopefully it won't be too bad.
A lot of people watching all of this very closely, especially with all those holiday travel plans. Really not coming at a good time at all for those people, so many people traveling for the holidays. But again, tonight, so far, things relatively calm, just a light breeze. Temperatures feel a little crisp, though, as the storm moves closer. Reporting live tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Yeah, a lot of people hesitant about what do we do for the holidays? Should we cancel plans? Did you find overall, I mean, I know we just heard the sound there saying, you know, we are considering, but do we know the outcomes for most people at this point, or are they just going to kind of take it hour by hour?
Yeah, I know that there are some people that are moving those plans up if they can, or maybe going to see what happens. But right now, a lot of people just watching this closely. Again, as you're saying, kind of playing it hour by hour, unknown, really, just wanting to see what plays out with all of this rainfall expected.
All right, very good. Matthew, thank you so much. All right, moving on to Orange County. That's where we're heading to. Pardon me, Orange County. This is also where mandatory evacuations begin tomorrow for areas damaged by wildfire. Those hillsides especially prone to debris flows. Fox 11's Gina Silva reports from Trabuco Canyon.
I've been evacuated once before. I don't like it.
But the storm headed to Southern California is forecast as an immediate threat to homes, roads, and safety. That's why a mandatory evacuation order has been issued starting Wednesday morning, Christmas Eve, for Trabuco Creek, Bell Canyon, and Hot Springs Canyon in Orange County.
That's rough. Oh my gosh, everyone with their stuff in their house too, right? Their gifts and wanting to be at home with their family, and they're not going to be able to do that. It's terrible.
That sucks. I mean, a cold Christmas is nice, but not a wet one.
Yeah.
And I hear it's going to be like a lot of rain.
So much rain, the system is being called a major atmospheric river, also referred to as a Pineapple Express. The biggest concern isn't just total rainfall, which in some areas could approach 10 inches, but the potential for continuous, intense downpours that can trigger flash flooding and dangerous debris flows.
Having to leave on Christmas Eve is kind of crazy.
Despite warnings and mandatory evacuation orders, some residents say they're not concerned and they won't be leaving home.
No, well, definitely not. I have family visiting as well, so I don't think it's even an option for us. They would have nowhere to go.
Don't sweat the small stuff, and everything is small stuff.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year.
The best advice from authorities is simple. If you're under a mandatory evacuation order, secure your home, leave early, and avoid flooded roads. Reporting from Orange County, I'm Gina Silva, Fox 11 News.
All right, Gina, thank you. Take a look at your screen. Evacuation warnings are now in effect for the following burn scar areas in LA County: Kenneth, Palisades, Mandeville Canyon, Eaton, Sunset, and the Topanga Canyon closure. If you want to track the storm and those evacuation warnings, just head to foxla.com. You'll find interactive radars, a full 7-day forecast, and much more. You can also download our mobile app. In some other news tonight, the Department of Justice drops another trove of documents tied to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Many of those documents mention President Trump, but the Justice Department immediately warned some of the files contain claims that are just outright untrue. Fox's Madeline Rivera walks us through the latest release.
The Jeffrey Epstein saga continues to unfold. Early Tuesday, the Justice Department posted a second batch of some 11,000 documents, days after a deadline to release all government material related to the convicted sex offender's case.
We're going through a very methodical process with hundreds of lawyers looking at every single document.
Among the heavily redacted files is a January 2020 email from an assistant U.S. attorney stating President Trump flew on Epstein's plane at least 8 times between 1993 and 96, more than originally reported. At least once with Epstein alone and another time with just Epstein and an unnamed 20-year-old woman.
I can't imagine why Donald Trump would have been okay to be on an airplane with teenagers and very young adult women, other than nefarious circumstances.
But with the files came a note of caution. The DOJ posting some of these documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump. The first batch of documents released Friday contained dozens of photos of Epstein with high-powered men, including Presidents Trump and Clinton. And although Trump signed off on releasing the files, he thinks they're doing more harm than good.
This is what the Democrats, mostly Democrats, and a couple of bad Republicans are asking for. I don't like the pictures of other people being shown. I think it's a terrible thing.
The files also contain many unverified tips sent into law enforcement and a debunked video purporting to show Epstein's 2019 suicide inside his Manhattan jail cell. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
A heartbreaking update now in the case of missing 9-year-old Melody Buzzard. Santa Barbara authorities tonight confirming her body was found in rural Utah December 6th. Investigators say she died of multiple gunshot wounds to the head. Authorities have arrested her mother, Ashley Buzzard, charging her with first-degree murder. Investigators say cartridge cases at the scene of the crime matched those from her home.
All of us who have been involved in this case have been deeply affected by it. We were hoping against hope that she would be safely found.
Surveillance footage shows the mother and daughter on a road trip in October. Officials believe Melody died soon after these images were taken. Still ahead at 9, an arrest more than 7 months after an accused drunk driver hits and kills a local teen. What we know about the woman in custody. Plus, we head out to the Pacific Palisades and Malibu to see there how residents are preparing for the incoming storm. That's next. All right, giving you a live look at our weather radar. All that green, that's all part of the Pineapple Express heading into Southern California, expected to bring widespread rain through the week. We could break some records, as we've learned from Adam. Now, people who live in and around the Palisades fire burn scarred, they're bracing for the storm. We're seeing multiple street closures and hillsides covered in plastic tarps. Fox 11's Nick Garcia tonight talking to people who live there.
The sounds of the season are a little different for the Palisades this Christmas. Rebuilding continues as dark storm clouds sit above Brian Bradford's property.
I'm always concerned. I mean, when they start talking atmospheric rivers, it kind of freaks me out.
A tarp put up on top of his freshly framed house in anticipation of the rain.
I think we've done what we can do, and other than that, we'll see.
Caltrans is also doing what it can. Topanga Canyon Boulevard will be closed from PCH to Grandview from Tuesday night through at least Friday due to the risk of debris flow.
you have a balcony at least?
Valerie Henderson's house is the only one on the block that survived the fire, but heavy smoke damage inside is forcing her to gut it.
Are you concerned about the rain?
Yeah, we are concerned about the rain. It's, we're going to do our best to cover the house and hope that there's not massive mud.
She's looking to the vegetation that's grown back in her own yard and in the nearby hills as a sign the mud flow might not be so bad, and getting hope from others who've already moved back.
We're hunkering down, so to speak. So we'll be ready for it tonight and the next 2 or 3 days.
Like Dick Lawrence, whose house survived the Palisades fire.
I think God had a lot to do with it to help us get through this.
Dick says he's leaned on his faith over the past 12 months, and after a horrific start of the year, he's thankful to be celebrating Christmas at home. Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
Well, despite the rain, the rush is on to get Christmas presents. Here's what it looked like today. This is at the Citadel in Commerce. Shoppers trying to beat the rain.
Because I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 presents to buy. So I don't care if it rains or not.
I'm a run. You're calling me out because I'm doing last minute shopping, so I am. But, you know, I got an umbrella in the car. That's all I'm going to do. What else can I do? We got to do what we got to do. I'm not going to stay home and not give my people gifts. They got to get their gifts, you know?
Out here already, so might as well just endure it just a little bit to get that last minute shopping done.
Rain or shine, Santa Claus is coming to town.
Weather is sponsored by American Career College.
Live look outside. This is more about the traffic than it is the weather at this point, because look at the departure deck at LAX. It is jam-packed. They're getting out of town before the bulk of the rain comes. That brings us to Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger. And what time exactly can we expect that over LAX?
Oh, I mean, middle of the night, probably 3, 4 in the morning, starts getting kind of intense and then lasting through tomorrow morning. It's funny because a lot of times we use this shot, and I kind of use this as an example of saying, where are you going? Like, it's going to be great in LA over the next week. Don't leave.
Not
but
right now.
It's the opposite this time around. You get out of here. It's going to be just a mess the next few days. So let's get into it now. We'll start with the potential rain totals. Here's just the overview map without any numbers on it for California, but you see the legend on the side of your screen. Red and orange is 3 to 5 or 6 inches or so of rain. You get up into the yellow, we're talking above 7 inches of rain. I feel like I'm counting up like that person talking about the number of gifts they got to buy. I think they counted from 1 to 9. It's kind of like that for the potential number of inches of rain we're seeing as well. So let me put some numbers on this now, and it kind of goes with the colors. So where there's yellow, that's where, yes, this is not a typo. There could be 10 or more inches of rain in some of the mountains and foothills. The National Weather Service says up to 14 inches of rain, not snow. We're talking about rain here, is a possibility. I think in general, 3 to 7 is going to be quite common. You can see these orange to kind of darker yellow colors. That's 5 to 7 inches or so. Notice some lower totals, not that it's anything light, but lower into parts of Orange County, into the Inland Empire. Maybe not quite as bad, but still there's potential for flooding everywhere. It's just that the worst of it is likely to be in the mountains and foothills where that heaviest rain comes on through. That's why we're so concerned about mudslides and debris flows there. We see some rain right now over our western areas. It's mostly light, so nothing too problematic right now. And for the people that are out doing some shopping today, I mean, today was the day to do it. Not only is it, miserable on any Christmas Eve to have to do some last minute shopping, in my opinion anyways, but if you're out there in the rain, it's of course even worse, and that's what we're going to see tomorrow. Flood watch in effect through the end of Christmas Day and a Christmas evening for everybody. We also have not just a risk for flooding, but the highest possible category. There's 4 of them. High is level 4 out of 4, risk for flooding in that purple color, and that's what we see. That's pretty rare. So that gives you some signs, some context as to what kind of event we're looking at here. In addition, there's a risk for severe storms, which doesn't have to do with rain intensity. It has to do with how damaging some of the storms could be. So within the rain coming through, there might be some small hail, damaging winds. A brief tornado can't be ruled out on Wednesday. And in that green area, that same thing is true. A low-end severe storm risk on Thursday as well. And then there's the wind. We have wind advisories, high wind warnings, as those winds will be intense at times Wednesday, even into Thursday. You can see the numbers right here. If I read every number I'm going to show you here in the next couple of minutes, I'll run out of time. All right, let's go to Futurecast now, which is going to show you the waves of rain coming. It's not constant between now and Friday, but the first big wave, here we are at 6 a.m. tomorrow. You can see it's covering a lot of our area. Intense rain rates up to 1 inch per hour, which would certainly cause some flooding in some spots. A lot of that pushes east then late day tomorrow. We get a little lull with occasional rain between these main waves. But the next second wave comes towards the end of the day, Christmas. So Christmas morning, maybe not too bad, but Christmas afternoon, evening, we see the next wave come through. And then the third looks like it'll be more so just off and on light showers through a lot of the day on Friday. By the weekend, dry weather comes in. Now, as far as the snow, you can see in the mountaintops, in a few locations, we do expect some. The snow level, if you look at the upper right part of your screen, drops to about 6,000 feet on Friday. Purple indicates maybe more than a foot in a couple locations. So widespread rain, high rain chances through Friday. We're mostly dry this weekend. It's going to be pretty chilly, though, the next few days. By Friday night, we're actually getting down to the 40s, and that'll be maybe the coldest part of this whole thing. Marla?
That's cold. All right, Adam, thank you so much. Coming up, a popular weight loss medication getting a makeover. It's hitting the market as a pill instead of an injection. Why it's a game changer for doctors and patients. That's next. A groundbreaking shift in the weight loss industry. An FDA-approved pill could replace those weekly injections. Fox's Madison Alworth shows us the new Wegovy pill that's hitting the market.
Big news for the weight loss industry as the FDA approves the first ever GLP-1 pill, a version of Novo Nordisk's Wegovy. The daily pill includes semaglutide, the same active ingredient as the Wegovy injection, as well as Ozempic. And clinical trials have shown the pill delivers similar results to the weekly shots. Until now, these popular medications have only been available via injection. With this new option, some Americans may be more willing to take it.
People would much rather prefer to actually just take a pill instead of poking themselves.
Novo Nordisk has not released a price for the Wegovy pill yet, but we do know that they have reached a deal with the Trump administration to sell the lowest dose of the pill for $149 a month for people who pay out of pocket.
They've often cost consumers more than $1,000 per month, and some a lot more than that.
More than 40% of Americans are considered obese. This more accessible version of Wegovy is expected to give broader access to those who previously could not afford the drug.
We know that obesity is one of the leading causes of death in America, and that if you can get this pill down to, $149 a month or $200 a month, a lot of Americans are going to be willing to pay that price in order to get off sort of their other medications related to obesity-related complications and to extend both the quality of their life and its length.
The weight loss market is projected to reach $150 billion in the next decade. In New York, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
I'm Chelsea Edwards, live in Malibu, a large portion of which is under evacuation warnings this holiday season. Concerns about mudslides, potential debris flow, and flooding, and 3 critical canyons now closed ahead of the storm. I'll have what you need to know coming up.
Plus, an arrest is made in the suspected DUI crash that killed 18-year-old Ron Levy of Pacific Palisades. For latest information when we come back.
Across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
All right, at the bottom of the hour now, look at this. We're following breaking news. This is a live picture from Sky Fox. This is in San Pedro, a commercial fire, structure fire here that is raging. You see the ladder down below, fire crews on scene, and those raging flames coming from this rooftop. Again, a commercial building with fire through the roof. This is the 1600 block of South Pacific Avenue in San Pedro. Firefighters tell us that they are in the offensive mode. Plenty of LAFD on scene. You see top left of your screen, the Bike Palace, that is to be noted. Sheet metal business is also among the businesses that call home here at this structure. So this is a huge fire that seems to be getting worse as we're jumping on live on the air at 9:30 now. So again, offensive mode. You see the firefighters down below on the ladder. They're in, doing what they can. No word on any injuries. If anyone was inside when the building caught fire, of course, the cause is under investigation. At this point, there are no reports of injuries, but you see Pacific Avenue there. LAFD trucks line that. That's going to be off limits to local traffic, so keep that in mind. And obviously, if you live in this area, you're going to want to close your doors because the smoke concerns is obviously going to be a big issue. Air quality is going to be a big issue. So the incident commander ordered the transition to a defensive operation. We're just getting this from LAFD. Additional resources are en route. And this means it has been raised to a greater alarm status. So it seems to be getting worse before it's getting better. So a greater alarm status for the structure fire in San Pedro. Obviously an industrial area there, although across the street it looks to be maybe an apartment building. Oh, so for those people, and I am being told that that is apartment structure, apartment building right across the street. I wouldn't be surprised if that is under evacuation. You're going to absolutely want to watch. You can't help but watch if you live across the street. And obviously, if it's not under evacuation, close your windows. As mentioned, air quality is just going to be absolutely terrible there. So this is the 1500 block. Let me just double check that. 1600 block of South Pacific Avenue in San Pedro. So we obviously are going to keep a watch on this as people seem to be now gathering in the area. We have the magnifying camera there, so you're seeing people gathering around, trying to, probably get some more information from LAFD. Should we evacuate? Should we leave the neighborhood, etc.? So this is something we will continue to watch here on Fox 11. In the meantime, we're bracing for that big storm. It's just beginning to hit several parts of Southern California. There are specific areas of concern over flooding and dangerous mudslides, the burn scar areas. Let's go live to Fox 11's Chelsea Edwards. She's there in Malibu with more tonight. Chelsea?
Yeah, here in Malibu, Marla, you've got more than just one. You've got both the Franklin fire burn scar and the Palisades fire burn scar, and those combined cover a huge portion of this area, which are all under evacuation warnings right now. You've also got some critical canyon closures, including this one. We've just seen a lot of cars having to turn around right off PCH and Topanga and having to go all the way down and go back up the 405 in order to get into the valley. There's a lot going on ahead of this upcoming storm. Storm preps well underway here in Malibu, a huge swath of which is now under evacuation warnings ahead of the brunt of the storm. At Duke's on PCH, crews tonight could be seen installing heavy K-rails to protect that property from potential mud flow and potential flooding. Sandbags are still available in a few spots across the city. We went to one of those distribution centers at the Malibu Public Library. That's where you can find pre-filled bags. They're available for pickup. Then there's another site at LA County Fire Department Station 70 on PCH. That's where loose sand is ready to be poured into bags for residents living in this area. And ahead of the downpours, officials are closing 3 prominent and critical roads in and out of the city. Malibu Canyon and Tuna Canyon both closed at 8 o'clock, and Topanga Canyon here behind me closed right at 9 o'clock. Their reopening is just going to depend on what this storm does and how the conditions are. Folks living in Malibu, of course, have been through a lot, and people we've spoken to say they're as prepared as they can be for whatever Mother Nature throws at them next.
We have been through many storms up here. I live on a hill, and I just finished the deck literally 2 hours ago, and it's just tarped and trenches, and the whole key is to get water away from the house. Just the old timers, they go through everything. The last floods we had, the river overflowed. When they're out there, they're in the fires. There was groups of people they didn't leave. I got out.
Yeah, so he got out. He says he's going to a home that he has in Santa Monica, and he and his family are just going to celebrate the Christmas holiday there. But, you know, a lot of folks have got their decorations up. They've got their trees up. They want to stay in their homes, and so they're hoping that these evacuation warnings don't turn into any kind of order, and hoping that the storm will just pass without any significant problems or damage. So, again, you've got a lot of these canyon roads that are closed going in and out of Malibu. Malibu Canyon, Tuna Canyon, those both closed at 8 o'clock, and this Topanga Canyon closed at 9 o'clock. Again, a lot of people have been coming up trying to get through and unfortunately being turned away and having to find an alternate route to get through. So it's certainly going to impact a lot of people. But again, authorities just saying to heed those evacuation warnings, and if they do become orders, be ready to go at a moment's notice, because every minute could be critical when it comes to life-saving measures in a storm like this. Reporting live from Malibu, I'm Chelsea Edwards, Fox 11 News.
Chelsea, these poor people have been through so much, and that includes businesses too. I mean, they were having a very hard time getting customers because of PCH closures, and now we deal with this. And so you got to imagine that they're feeling it all over again.
Yeah, you know, we were just talking to one resident, actually, who didn't want to go on camera, but she said the businesses up in Topanga, in that little village up there, they have been open for business, but they have struggled so much over these last couple of months because of these intermittent closures. You know, people aren't really sure when Topanga is going to be closed, so it's kind of easy to just assume it will be closed and to not take it. But those businesses are really suffering up there. And she said, you know, it's a vibrant community. They want to welcome people back. These sorts of things are just so unfortunate, and the timing is really unfortunate, too, of course, right during the holiday shopping season, you know, this critical shopping moment. So, yeah, it's had a real impact on these people's livelihoods and their home lives as well. It's been a tough year.
Oh, we feel for everybody. All right, Chelsea, we thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, tonight, hundreds of homes deemed to be in danger by emergency leaders in L.A. Evacuation orders, mandatory ones, have been issued for those homes across the city and county. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez joined L.A. County Sheriff's deputies as they went door to door warning people.
There's no answer to the callbacks of the property. So you guys are under mandatory evacuation. Sheriff's Department.
LA County Sheriff deputies reaching out to residents at over 100 unincorporated area properties identified by Public Works as particularly vulnerable to mud flows during the storm.
There's no cars in the driveway, so it appears like they already evacuated.
They left, but others have not.
Well, we know we have issues.
Right.
We haven't had any particular issues with any of this here.
It's hard to tell people, hey, you got to go, right? And it's also hard to tell people, hey, if you don't go, you're putting yourself in a really tough spot.
Officer, we were warned already about this.
Oh, you.
Thank you.
Yeah. What is your name? If they don't want to go, that's completely their choice. How many people are actually going to be here? Do you know?
There's going to be 3 or 4.
For us, we have a refusal to leave. That order that they sign, it kind of just tells us who's in the house. Can I just get your name real quick?
Sure.
And they pretty much take responsibility for staying.
In Altadena, I'm Christina Gonzalez, Fox 11 News.
Well, if you want to track the storm, just head to our website. It's foxla.com. You'll find interactive radars, a full 7-day forecast, and much more with Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger in a few minutes. Holiday travel is slowing drivers to a crawl in Castaic tonight. Heavy traffic backing up along major routes as travelers head toward L.A. ahead of the Christmas rush. There are no reported crashes or incidents, just a surge in holiday volume with incoming weather adding to the congestion. Drivers are being urged to allow extra time and watch for changing road conditions. Always a good idea. In some other news tonight, developing an arrest in the suspected DUI crash that killed 18-year-old Braun Levy of Pacific Palisades. Manhattan Beach police say Jenia Belt was arrested today, more than 7 months after she allegedly struck and killed Levy in Manhattan Beach. This arrest comes less than 24 hours after Levy's mom, Jen, joined me live on the 6 o'clock news to raise awareness about her push for justice and stronger DUI laws. Manhattan Beach police say Belt is charged with 1 felony count of second-degree murder, 1 felony count of gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated, and 1 count of driving with a suspended license. Manhattan PD says the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office made the arrest. Tonight, Belt booked into the Manhattan Beach Police Department jail on $2 million bail. Back to this breaking news tonight. This is some other news breaking. Fire crews responded to a fire at a homeless encampment on state-owned property along Mindanao Way and Playa del Rey. We've told you about this encampment and the effort to clean it in the past. Earlier today, flames burned through tents and debris before firefighters were able to put out those flames. No injuries were reported. The exact cause remains under investigation. City Council member Tracy Park, who represents the area, says she warned state officials this would happen, arguing earlier cleanup efforts by Caltrans did not include adequate barriers to prevent people from returning.
Enough. We are going to have to get off of this merry-go-round to nowhere. So I want you to know I am out here personally tonight, and I am going to continue to keep working on this problem. We cannot continue putting our first responders, commuters, and our unhoused population at risk by allowing these dangerous circumstances to persist in our city.
Well, today, Mayor Karen Bass joined Councilmember Hugo Soto Martinez and tenant rights activists at Strategic Actions for a Just Economy to approve major new tenant protections in Los Angeles. The ordinance covers about 74% of rental units and limits rent increases, protects families from added tenant charges, and removes outdated utility fees. Mayor Bass says housing affordability is critical, noting homelessness as the most severe consequence. Since taking office, she has doubled the number of affordable housing units in the pipeline, accelerating more than 40,000 units citywide. Well, Santa brought some joy to 100 formerly homeless kids in San Pedro. The nonprofit Holidays Helping Hands hosted the event. There's the Grinch, complete with gifts, holiday treats, even a visit, as you saw, from Mr. Grinch himself. The organization helps homeless families find housing and offers job training and life skills to build brighter futures. Organizers say the children will soon move into permanent homes. Oh, they're feeling good. They're feeling good. I like that. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch gears and talk more about you see it there. Your headline is 3 main rounds of this storm system heading our way. Adam.
Yeah, we've got a rough couple of days ahead of us. I think I might be doing the dance the kids were doing by this weekend when we're past all this and we can all relax here a little bit at Fox 11. But yes, 3 main rounds of rain on the way. And by the end of this week, we're thinking on average, most rain totals are probably going to fall somewhere between 3 and 7 inches. And as big as that is, we expect more, perhaps even double it in the mountains and foothills in some spots, which means up to 6 to 14 inches is not out of the realm of possibility in some of the mountains and foothills. So we've got burst or wave number 1 coming in late tonight and into tomorrow morning. That will be the heaviest, so we put very heavy there. The next wave will be more so Thursday afternoon and night. That one also potential to be heavy. And then the third is going to be more so just like off and on lighter showers throughout the day on Friday. And again, you add it all up, we got several inches coming our way over these next few days put all together, but there may even be a few inches, multiple inches, just with this first round coming in within the next 12 hours or so. We can see the first rain burst right here as the radar's kind of lighting up a little bit more over the Pacific Ocean. That is heading straight east towards us. So right now things are relatively quiet. We do see some scattered light showers across parts of Ventura County over towards Santa Barbara County as well. But look what Futurecast has in store for us as we take you through the night and into tomorrow morning. Here's 1 a.m. So we see the radar probably lighting up over these areas. The heavier rain starts showing up. But as we continue into tomorrow morning, we get this surge of more energy essentially added to the rain, and that's going to create these heavier downpours. Rain rates may be up to 1 inch per hour in some spots, which can definitely cause some flooding. That's 6 a.m. Here's 8 a.m. It continues for a couple of hours, quite intense, which is why we think a few inches at least may pile up in just a few hours in the morning tomorrow. That heaviest round starts to move to the east from like Big Bear to just east of Orange County, Inland Empire, those general areas by noon tomorrow, but still left behind this is all this, which is going to be just a lot of moderate rain and maybe a few pockets of heavy rain still midday tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, things are letting up a little bit. It all gradually keeps shifting eastward. And then by tomorrow evening, this is 6 p.m., we get a lull, which is much needed because there's more coming. So here we go into wave number 2. And by the way, between the waves, there will be some scattered rain at times. Like you see Christmas morning, some areas will likely see some rain, especially on the upslope, the kind of the coast-facing side of the mountains and foothills. Then as we continue into Christmas afternoon, we have this next wave coming in. So this is the main wave number 2 I was talking about. Here's 5 p.m., Christmas Day. From there into Christmas night, you see more of that rain coming through, and it's going to be heavy at times. And then again, some lighter rain on Friday. All right, 7-day forecast. You'll notice first the rain chance, 100%, 90%, 80%. That means just widespread rain through Friday. By Saturday, there might be some spotty rain somewhere, but most areas are dry Saturday and Sunday as well. Notice the high temperature is around 60, but as it's raining, it might even be more so in the 50s for a lot of the day. The overnight lows in the 50s until we get to Friday night, Saturday morning, and Saturday night, Sunday morning. We get low temperatures down in the 40s. This is for LA and Inland Orange County. Haven't had a chance to get through a lot of the 7 days yet here today, so let's try to go through some of these. Here's the coast. Temperatures pretty similar to what we expect around LA. Won't quite get as cold those Friday and Saturday nights, but still lows down near 50 degrees. For the valleys, the Inland Empire, again, going to be cool as the rain is hitting, cool during the daytime, but colder at night. You see those 40s for lows for several nights and mornings in a row. Then we'll switch it over to the mountains where snow is going to be increasingly likely as we get towards the end of this event. The snow level will be pretty high at first, but dropping to as low as about 6,000 feet on Friday. So that's when we could see some snow piling up on the higher elevations for sure. Again, it'll be cold this weekend, but at least drying out there for the mountains. And in the deserts, it's going to be rain as well. Here's the high desert forecast. Widespread rain still through Friday. And finally, in the low desert, there won't be as much rain there. And the rain total may actually come in under an inch around Palm Springs. But still, it's impactful weather no matter where you live. Marla?
Cannot wait to see you dance. Do that dance once this is all gone. All right, Adam, thanks so much. Up next, a monstrous snake, a ping pong champion, and a Neil Diamond tribute band.